We're just gonna do a BG or two, let some people join the stream, so we can have a better question and answer segment. Thank everybody for tuning in. Show off the Sorcerer for a battleground. Hey, what's up, man? Coming back. How's that No Man's Sky's next been? Somebody else got the power sigil. Ooh. I am on stream, so. fucked. I got cocky. I got cocky. Didn't matter, boys. Didn't matter. Pulling 19 and 2 and your team's still ass. How's everybody doing today? Nothing much, Wax. Just doing some BGs, getting ready for this build stream. Maybe we'll do one more, let a few more people hop in. And yeah, King Chili, the Warden, is pretty fucked up right now. It's definitely a weaker class, especially with no execute delayed attacks. It's kind of like playing Stamp Circuit a year or two ago, you know? You could do it, but it's definitely not what it's supposed to be. Hopefully they give us our stun back eventually. Didn't make sense to take it away and give it the fucking Wrecking Blow. But let's see what we get. Alrighty. We'll do one more battleground, see what's going on. You guys want to get, watch me get waxed by fucking Mad Sork here? Mad Sork to Mad Sork. I'm so rusty on Mad Sork, I haven't been PvPing on them. Oh. I'll get crumbled by somebody who's on a dueling spec. Let me give it to Birdie here. Oh. My CP is not even spec'd for, this either. I forgot I'm PvE CP. Oops. Gotta go. What's the fuck? I blocked too much, boys. I blocked too much. I forgot my champion points. 75 and its tenacity. Yeah, I'm BG spec. Or, not BG spec or whatever. I meant to say for BGs. I'm so fucking out of it right now. Either way, I'm gonna do another battleground. We can get into the Sorcerer real quick. My CP is set for PvE, so I'm not gonna really get into that. I can tell you what I'd run it at, but I'm not gonna change it. I run this really for BGs, but this is what we're running right now. 5 cooler ends on the front bar. You want infused for the staff. Infused is OP as shit. The difference between the Nernhone and the spell damage for your burst is very minuscule. You get way more out of the enchant, and then you're proccing it every 5 seconds instead of every 10 seconds, which is sweet. We don't need chlorines on the back bar, obviously, so we go with 2 willpower. We're just dropping the crit and the 5-piece bonus, giving us that extra max magic, try to even it out a little bit. This is open. You can run Pirate Skeleton, or you can run 1 Dominus and 1 Infernal, or another max magic piece. It's really up to you. The Pirate Skeleton gives you so much tankiness. You don't really can't even talk. Really lose a lot of damage. I just have it set up like this just cause I can throw on the Pirate Skeleton, I guess, for next up, or this next BG. Show you a little bit of a difference while we're waiting for more people to come in. Let me put on the polymorph here. Polymorph, not costumes. So it's your preference. Like I said, I was kind of running that just for more of a damage reason. Open world, I would definitely run it with the Pirate Skeleton. And the other set we're running is Shackle Breaker, just to give us that stam recovery. You want to be able to dark deal very often, have those big magic pools still. Small stuff like that. So we're going to wear Pirate Skeleton for this one. When we hop out, I'll show you the stat difference and damage difference and everything. We still want our Drain Magic Poisons on back bar. It's the only time I really ever resto attack is when I'm out of resources or some crap. Shackle Breaker, I like everything impen. The extra max magic doesn't really make up for when you get caught with your shields down, which will eventually happen. I run 1 recovery, 2 spell damage with the Calorians, Clockwork Food. Mage Mundustone, you always want max magic, especially on a shield build. Alrighty. This, my shit. So, for all of you who don't know, Chaos Ball spawns at the 32nd point, so you don't really need to dip into the middle until the 32nd point, like we should be right now. That's my shit. Oh, forgot, don't have streak when I have this fucking thing. Whoops. That's the problem with double slotting or having the 3rd bar. Sometimes you get double popped into there. Oh well. go get the ball. Whoa. Okay.
Fetch that forward! Fetch that forward!
So as you guys see, the pirate skeleton difference is minuscule. We still doubled pretty much everyone's kills, so it's not like we're not doing damage or anything. What's up, Shake and Bake? Thanks for joining. We're going to get into the Sorcerer now, in depth fully. Alrighty. So we got an infused Inferno. Defending, we're using poison. We don't need infused. We're not we don't have any heals really. We don't need powered. So I still go with the old-fashioned defending just for that extra tankiness when I'm on that bar. That was with the pirate skeleton, as you guys saw. That's with the Dominus. Now, Shackle Breaker, everything is impen. You want to be as tanky as possible when your shields are down, like I was saying. 2 spell damage, 1 recovery. Let me show you some buffed up stats here. We got over 45k max magic, over 2400 spell damage, almost 50% crit. Now I want you to keep in mind that my CP is spec'd for PvE, so my crit resistance is a little lower than it should be. That is not a Nirnhone weapon. If you were using Nirnhone, you would have over 2600, probably over 2700 after Sorc passives and your buff. Alright, Ballpient. All good. The recovery should stay about the same. Stam recovery would go up a little bit because I put some into that, then straight mitigation. But let's get into skills for this. We want Clench, Crystal Frags, Mage's Wrath, Haunting Curse, Inner Light, Buffed Up, Curse is hitting for almost 13, Mage's Wrath is propping for 14, Frags are still almost 15, almost 17k on the star, back bar, Energy Overload for ult, because that's where we put a few other skills, so oh hi Elkert. Oh, no problem. You haven't really missed much. We did a couple of BGs. I did a little bit of a dip, but we're still on the first class. I was waiting for the numbers to pop up some more. So, Energy Overload for the ultimate. Hardened Ward, Harness Magicka, Healing Ward. We put all our shields there. Shriek to get away, and then the Power Surge. Dark Conversion to give us those resources back. Streak, because as you see, we're not that tanky on this bar. We've only got 1 shield and we're still in light armor, so if we get caught slipping, we can die very quick. Daedric Minefield, 5 mines, Boundless Storm, Hardened Ward, and then Energy Overload to get out. If I had the Sidric Order ult that gave 8% mitigation, I'd probably run that. If I were to run this setup, I'd obviously have better stam sustain because I'd have CP put into it. At that point, you could almost run spell power pots. You wouldn't need a tripod. I'm telling you, the stam pool with the stam recovery should be enough, especially if you're popping that every 45 seconds. You shouldn't need to dark deal as much anyways. So yeah, I'd go for the mitigation. You want to be as tanky as possible on this bar. I don't have it, so I just slot my 3rd bar. Get some extra skills and shit there. Did I go over enchants? Yes, I did. Everything's max magic. I went over shot glyph because sorcerer passes will do more damage than a fire glyph. Collections. Alrighty, we're gonna switch classes. This one's not as interesting because I don't have CP done. How would I rank my classes from most powerful? If I were to say, are we talking from a solo point of view, PvE point of view, group point of view, what are we talking? Because every class is beneficial for different reasons. For solo play, I'd say the strongest class by far would have to still be Magic Sorcerer. You got Streak, which is mobility. You got Shields, big shields too. Great magic multipliers. Alright, so solo PvP is what we're talking about anyways. Magic Sorc got the mobility from Streak. You got big shields, which means you can't really be healing, debuffed, and critted. They got an insane burst, best burst in the game by far. They're the #1 class right now. They got an unblockable and dodgeable stun. Even next update, they're just dropping the stun from 5 seconds to 2.5. So even next update, Magic Sorcerer is gonna be fucking stupid strong. What that undodgeable burst really is stupid. Second, it's tough. It's tough between the Templar and the Nightblade, or even just Magic Nightblade, because Cloak is such a beautiful thing. There's nothing more tanky than Cloak. Templars lack the mobility, but at the same time, Cleanse is a nasty skill too. You got the best heal in the game from Breath of Life, and you got a Cleanse, which works on the biggest, fucking, most used set in the game, which is Slows. You can cleanse that shit. Slows is gonna pull your Nightblade out of Cloak, so it really comes down to preference. If you got quick hands, you can probably make better do with a Nightblade. You can still make them somewhat tanky, and they offer a big burst. But Templar, you can just make them so tanky. They've got a long range, super strong execute. They've got a purify. They just got so many hots coming in, and you don't really need to spec towards damage. And you guys will see that when I pull out the Templar for the build. Sorry guys, I gotta take some gear off this guy. I haven't made new gear for my shit, so I'm slacking. This is the reason why I have not been, or switched my CP, because I've actually been using this guy for dungeons and shit. I just play with him in BGs, because Sorcerer is so fun to play sometimes. So we go Lambrus. We will be doing the Templar, don't worry. I'm gonna get into CP, show you everything. I don't think I'm gonna show you multiple builds, because not a lot has changed on the Templar, to be honest. We ran dual wield anyways. We had our own stuns. We didn't really take any nerfs, so why does this look wrong? To be honest, Templar is just like an extra 10 CP, and not as much of a change as the Warden is and stuff like that. That's messed up. Either way. Shackle breaker. Fire skeleton. Shackle breaker. Throw those in there. Rest of stuff. I'm actually going to show you guys 2 specs on the Warden, though. That's the fun thing. So if you want to see the Templar, I guess we'll do Templar next. That's what we'll do. A lot of people have actually been asking about the Templar. Warden's probably going to take the most time. I know you guys are most curious about that. I've had a ton of questions about the Warden, so I'll do some explaining. So we'll do that last. Nightblade should be fairly quick. We haven't changed much with him either. OP. Oh yeah, the Sorcerer is pretty OP. That Chlorine spec is stupid when it bursts off. Templar. So you guys do have the Argonian, but preference is by far Breton. That's the first thing I'm gonna say about Templars. I know 9 out of 10 people will say Kurz, no Argonian, blah 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 blah. If you're not a full-on dedicated healer, I don't understand why you need 10% extra healing on your Breath of Life. You've got the best heal in the fucking game. You're sacrificing 7% extra max magic, which in reality is sustain and damage. That's a free inner light max magic passive just on being a Breton. You get 10% extra healing, but at the same time, that spell resistance, especially in open world, is 8% spell mitigation. That is the reason why my Templar is so tanky. You guys are gonna see in light armor, I'm touching overcap with spell resistance between being a Breton and being in light armor. You guys have already seen it. I'm actually running a build from the last build video. I'll just get into the CP, the changes, talk about a few things. But yeah, so I just passives all the way would go towards being a Breton. Not even just that, it's 3% cost mitigation from being a Breton. I find outweighs the potion pot. To hit your potions every 45 seconds in order to maximize Argonian recovery, opposed to the Breton where you can hit it whenever you'd like to. And to be honest, my tripods are for when I run out of stamina. You guys want to see, these are the stat sheet unbuffed. Like, it's not that impressive. 36k max magic, 2k magic recovery. I do have a powered weapon. If I had Nern, I'd have over 2k spell resistance or spell damage. But as you guys see, like standing in my circle, without even having my Pyroskeleton on, I'm at 26k physics and fucking over cap since almost 3k. So as you guys see, you don't really need to hit hard as a Templar. This is the front bar, almost. Mind you, like I said, there's no I'm not buffed up, so that'd go up to about 2600 spell damage. Let me go buff up somewhere. I don't know what Monostone I'm using. Atronach, there you guys go before I forget. All my magic builds run Clockwork Food. And the reason why I run Clockwork Food is because of the free health recovery. You get more max magic than you would for, obviously, Potent Brew. Apparently I have more than I thought. I got 2800 spell damage fully. Alright, so for the Templar, what we're running this update is, you can still run all the builds from the other video. They're all very liable. Like I said, the only thing that changed for Templar is that extra 10 CP. Yeah, I'm a simple guy. To be honest, if you got too much shit and skills going on, it becomes more of a rotation. You're not going to get it down, and I'm going to actually explain that whole rotation thing in PvP when it gets to be the Warden, because he drops on elemental weapon every once in a while. So I'll get into that more. But for this, we are running 5 Wizards of Post. You still want Nern main hand. I run and can run infused. However, I don't light attack with those swords too often. Glyphs are going to be weapon damage and then oblivion damage for when you do hit that shit. I prefer dual wield over Destro for 2 reasons. You're pretty much forced to use a lightning staff. You can't go Inferno, which you're losing 8% damage on your sweeps, which is your biggest DPS. Curse Despotic and shit like that running an Inferno staff this update, but the damage just isn't there. I tried lightning staff and damage just isn't there compared to dual wield. We're Templars, you've got the stuns. This is gonna buff whatever you want to use on dual wield. If you want to go soul assault, if you want to go fucking shooting star, if you want to use radiant, if you want to use sweeps, buff everything. So that's why I run the dual wield. You get an extra, I think it's 200 spell damage also for the extra sword, or about 225 or something, opposed to the Destro. Destro gives you a shit ton of pen, yes, but in being in light armor, after CP and all that stuff, even against a heavy armor target, I find just outright damage is better than penetration. Even on the Warden, I wish I could run dual wield, however I'm forced to run Destro. But we're still running sword and board back bar. Poisons. We always use these poisons. I only ever really use a back bar light attack when I'm running out of resources, so I usually want a poison there. Sword, what I was saying, is powered. Breath of Life, we want that shit to nuke. Who'd you run into, John Ford? Despotic, or? I have only fought him in BGs. And I was on my Warden, and his team was pounding on me pretty hard, but they couldn't get me. I've never seen him in open world or anything like that, so I don't know. Fortified brass is craftable, so Valkut Scoria, I got light head and shoulders. We want to min-max our resistances. Oh, trade on the board is sturdy, just because I forgot that shit, I'm an idiot. We have such a low stam pool. You're blocking while using Breath of Life when shit hits the fan. You really want sturdy for that one. Everything impen on body, medium legs, heavy chest, maximum resistances. Everything max magic. I don't need stam recovery or really the stam pool. You can have 15k max stam. If it's not coming in any faster, you're still going to run out eventually. So me, 10 to 15 doesn't really matter. Stam recovery would obviously be a little bit nice, but with so much CP now, you really get that mitigation. Skills, toppling charge, I need my gap closer. If you could play without a gap closer, that would be Vampire's Bane, or probably Javelin, your preference. Eclipse, I don't use that shit, never have. As you see, mine's still like level 1. Here's a great attack, I don't know. Not for me. I like to use skills that work on everybody. I know if I run into somebody using a sword and board and a 2H, my stun's gonna work. And I have something. I see a lot of Templars. Oh yeah, heavy armor stammed. And they're still cancer. Deal so much burst. But yeah, he always runs those tanky setups. I can see that being a long fight. I can't run a tanky setup as an Argonian. There's no damage. Oh, I've seen you around a few times. I think we've even fought. Nice, nice. But, so, I lost my train of thought. So we're going on toppling charge, like I said. Javelin, Vampire's Bane, whatever. Radiant. I tried to play without Radiant. Radiant is good for when you have a fucking stam class that is an execute range, obviously, that just likes to roll out of your shit. You're not going to hit him with a sweep or nothing, especially against tanky people, tanky stam blades or something like that, cloaking away or streaking away or whatever. It's really nice to have that. So I play with my Radiant. Inner Light. In open world, I run the Inner Light because you really don't have time to drop your Vampire's Bane and all your dots. That's the simplicity I'm talking about. When you have 4 or 5 people on you, you really just want to be able to drop whatever as quick as you can and try to burst somebody down as fast as possible, like me. I tuck myself in a corner, da-da-da-da-da. I go right into buffing up. All I do is my entropy, my purify. And all I gotta do is sweep. As simple as hell. If I want to get maximum damage, crit and all that shit, that's an extra attack I gotta throw in there. And when I got 3 or 4 people pounding on me, you really don't have the time to throw as many attacks as you'd like. So, for open world, I stick to the simplicity, the extra max magic, and the crit is always there. I have to yeah, my Warden back in CP, especially that CPBG update, was Island Battlegrounds, that update. But yeah, simplicity, just simplicity. Like I said, your Scoria is gonna proc. Hopefully you get a Scoria by the time the Purify is, and then you want to drop either Star or Dawnbreaker when that Purify pops. If you're using Dawnbreaker, try to drop it into the Scoria. Lately, I've been using Shooting Star for open world because sometimes Dawnbreaker's a little bit off. I've been right in front of somebody, and for some reason, my Dawnbreaker doesn't hit them. So Star, I know it costs more, but it's a guaranteed hit. Comes back fairly quickly if you hit multiple people. Gives us more max magic, which is damage in the long run. Templars really don't have great magic multipliers. We thrive more off of straight out spell damage. So don't, if you're a Templar, don't worry about having the biggest magic pool, because you're gonna get your extra 5% spell damage right off of this passive here. Not that one. You're gonna get your extra 5% spell damage there. So we thrive off of crit and damage. So sets like Julianos and stuff like that work especially well for Templar. However, this is a solo build, so I go for tanky. What else? CP. You guys want CP, I'm sure, huh? You want the good stuff. 27 in the blast. We have so much fucking CP that, like I said, you don't even need to be an Argonian. I'm already getting 10% extra healing from my CP passive tree. Like when I'm standing in my circles. Unbuffed. Powered weapon. Be over 10k. When I buff up, and even in Citadel, you guys have seen, like, I'm tanky as shit. I have no problem healing myself. So we got 27 in the blast, 51 in the Elfborn. Just because CP, we have so many of it. If you have lower CP, I wouldn't worry about that tree as much, because you already have good Templar crit multipliers, or crit multipliers being a Templar. So you don't really need to worry about that. Spell erosion 19, we're in 9 armor. So we're still got 1 sharpened weapon, so we're pretty decent on the penetration. Master at Arms, that's going to be your Scoria, your Star outright damage, Dawnbreaker outright damage, Topple, Vampire's Bane, possibly the first tick of any dots. I've had multiple people tell me multiple things. So I just, like I said, I've got so much CP, why not spread them out? I'm not a big man for the penetration, too many shield builds out there. You want to be able to blast through those shields and hard, so I don't worry about it so much. 6 Thaumaturge, because everything we do is dot damage regardless. Main DPS is sweeps, those are dots. Like I said, debatably, first tick might be direct damage, but once again, got such a great multiplier, so many dots, might as well just spread it out. 66 in the Ironclad, just for direct damage. 44 in the crit resistant. We get to take out our dot damage because we're running extended ritual, which gives us the 5 cleansing, so we're dropping a lot of our dots anyways. Structured entropy. I don't even think, I'm so out of it right now, sorry guys. This was not supposed to be planned today. I ended up working yesterday and shot everything out of the water. Structured entropy, channeled focus. I don't think I discussed the focus. That's 480 magic recovery, which is great when you're in mist. That's why I run those 2 together. Opposed to the mitigation. Next update, that's getting a buff. This would be the Sidric Order ult that gives 8% mitigation. That's always up. A spell wall once in a while. When I'm out of stam, 5 seconds of blocking is good, but I'd rather the 8% mitigation when I'm on a healing phase or when I'm in my mist. Honor of the Dead, because I'm a selfish fucker, and that's going to give us some magic back when we're in mist also. Extended Ritual will also proc sets like Durok's Bane and Wizard's Riposte and shit like that too, so you might as well just go with the 5 harmful effect removal. And like I said, you get to take your CP out of the dot tree and put it into crit resistance. $43 in the Hardy, 43 into Elemental Defender, and then 43 into Quick Recovery. Oh, apparently I have 10%, so I actually get 17% extra healing between the Blessed and this, so I really don't need to be an Argonian. Rather than tankiness and stuff, extra max magic. This is how we play with absolutely nothing in the stam and stam recovery. We have outright mitigations. I've had people ask me about this on numerous occasions. If you play a build with very low stam recovery and stam pools, this is how you get the most out of your stam. You go for right into the break free. I got 20% cost reduction there, so 56 points. 6 in the bashing, just because we don't do a lot of bashing, just when people are rezzing or shit like that. 5% in the dark deal, or for stand recovery for dark deal or whatever. Sometimes I put that on to solo a dungeon or some shit if I'm doing normal for keys, or like I said, there's so much CP, you might as well spread them out. If I put another 16 points, took all the moon calf out, that's 5% recovery right there. It'd really only give me the extra 4% on the roll dodge, and that's just roll dodge. So every once in a while you need to be able to spread it out. In PvE, oh no, this is PvP, sorry. In PvE you gotta have your fucking roll dodge and shit like that, because they don't play with anything, and they don't play with anything like that. So this is pretty much the same concept. They don't play with anything in the stand recovery as a DPS or healer. So I pretty much applied the same rules. So we got 19% of block mitigation, 16%, 20 break for free. Like I said, I keep it all evened out. And even still, if you're running low on stam, don't be afraid to stun your target and hit him with a heavy attack, proximate chance, or poison on the back bar. I'm sure you guys seen me do it in videos. And then because we are sword and board and dual wield, we want to get maximum recovery out of our CP. We're not going to fucking waste 25 more points just to get that extra 1%. It's minuscule. So that is CP. We are a vampire. I personally like the vampirism. You have to, personally. I can't play without mist as a Templar. I've seen some people do it, blobs and shit, but I can't play without my mist, so we are a vampire. Is there anything I'm missing, guys, for the Templar? Like I said, nothing has really changed since the last update except the extra 10 CP. Clockwork, food, Atronach, Mundustone, everything to max magic. We have over 25k health, regardless, before an M buff and shit like that, so we got more than enough health. Well, we're capped, so that's that one. We will do the Nightblade next. Sorry guys, I will not be doing the stream as long as I wanted to. Unfortunately, I meant to do it yesterday and I couldn't get to it, so I have my family here with me right now, that's why you hear the kid in the background and stuff. So I'm gonna finish off the Warden, and then that'd really be about it. We're gonna do Nightblade now. Yes, the Magician's definitely got the most questions going on. Don't be afraid if I'm missing anything, guys. Please, don't be afraid to ask any questions. I was better prepared for this yesterday, but somebody last minute decided not to show up on Saturday, which threw off my weekend. So this is kind of rushed, kind of not as prepared. People that are tuning in a little bit late, don't be afraid to leave a question in the comments. I'll make sure to answer them as best as I can. Nightblade build. Alrighty guys, for this one we are running Truth front bar. Such an amazing set. Sweet thing about Truth is when it procs, it reapplies the duration, so it could permanently be up. It works with CP, so every time you roll dodge an attack is how you'd proc it, but it is glitched out, so every time you dodge an attack it actually procs the CP tree, so you can be attacking somebody in your shuffle is going to proc it. Sweet thing about it is it also drops with stamina rings. So you'd only, if you really wanted to run all stam jewelry, you'd only have to transmutate one item, and it comes in heavy, so it's pretty much backwards compatible for fucking stamina. You know, it works both ways. So if you want a heavy spec with it or a medium spec with it, it's very easy to use. CP, and especially for other classes, Stam Sorc, Stamden, what else? I'm having a brain fart right now. Templar has a stun. Either way, Stam Sorc and Stamden, they don't have stuns, so you'd get a lot of, you'd stun a lot of targets by hitting them with the light attacks from a bow or something that you're dual wield while you're roll dodging everywhere, dodging attacks and shit like that. It's a great way to stun your targets. Easy to proc. 440 weapon damage, and it goes backwards, so it increases your weapon damage by 440 for 10 seconds. So when you swap bars, that's also going to work on your bow bar. You can run it vice versa on other classes. Go with a truth bow and use like a mouse from 2H or something for a stam DK or something that uses the gap closer. However, I don't need it like that, so I run it on the front bar with a master's bow infuse, which is going to give us that extra 452 for 5 seconds. It increases your weapon damage by 308 against targets affected by a poison arrow. You have to make sure that poison inject hits before you bar swap, so give it a second, make sure that actually connects. If you bar swap cancel, that inject will not proc catastrophic arrow set. I don't know about it. Update or next update with the infuse changes. It might, because I know it's proccing back bar glyphs off front bar as long as it's weapon abilities, so hopefully that gets fixed. But as of right now, you gotta make sure it lands before you bar swap. I need stam recovery. The damage is already there. You'll see in the stats sheet after, once I pull it out, that we've already got over 40k max stam, and we're already touching over 4,000 weapon damage on our targets once it's fully buffed out and shit like that. So we really don't need more weapon damage. Recovery is nice. Curse of Truth, just because heavy chest is obviously biz. Medium arm cops, Dominus, just to give us that extra magic and stam. We do cloak a lot, mass hysteria, very good to have. Bone Pirate is our second set. It gives a lot of recovery and a lot of stamina. 4k stam is like 400 weapon damage, and then pretty much 280 or whatever, 290 stam recovery before all your passives and everything. It's a really nice set. It's min-maxing to its finest. This one we do run. I would like to run 4 well-fitted, 3 impen. However, I think I'm vice versa right now. 1, 2, 3. No. 1. Ooh, I'm 5 and 2, but I would like to be 4 well-fitted, 3 impen. The goal as a stam plate is to try your hardest not to get hit. Obviously, certain attacks like leap and stuff, you're gonna get hit, but you're gonna run out of stam, roll dodging a lot. Especially when shit hits the fan. Just Nightblade, you really don't have to heal. Sometimes you can't cloak with loads up and shit. To be honest, I've even dropped my Mundus stun and gone with more stam recovery just because we don't need it. I don't need the magic recovery because I'm going through stam like nothing. You guys can see in the footage, I'm not like draining my resources, but if I run out, that's the only reason why. We are in 2 heavy. Apparently we are not. Oh, blood spawn. Okay, that's what I wanted to get into. Last update I didn't have just giving me 2 pieces. I had a brain fart there. So we are using a heavy blood spawn. That is how we get some of our magic back, is from Constitution passives. You can go light armor, but you still want to be as tanky as possible. Right here, so you restore 108 magic and stamina when you take damage for each piece of heavy armor equipped, so 216. That's like an extra 100 magic recovery right there. and stam. So that's the reason why we run 2 heavy over the 3. Or the 2 or 5-1-1. I'm having such brain farts today. Everything is max stamina. Everything is weapon damage on the jewelry enchant. Food is dubious. The new gold food does not work with Bone Pirate. I think the damage is glitched out. The health recovery would be nice, especially since we are a werewolf. Just to get that extra 15% on back bar. Skills. Surprise attack. 11-2 without anything procced. Mass Hysteria, Relentless Focus is hitting for 21 without anything procced. Rally, almost 14k every 2 seconds for a heal. Ambush, you can run Stampede, it's cheaper. But the animation is a lot slower. There's been so many times where I've seen somebody Stampede and I just burst them down on their way in. So, yeah, that's why we don't do it. Skills. Incap is hitting for 17-6 without anything buffed. Poison Inject. Leeching Strikes. Shuffle. Shadowy Disguise. Resolving Vigor. Still 16k even though we're not using a powered weapon. If you don't want to do Infused, you can run Powered. That's what my back bar would be. If you go with Werewolf once again for more stam recovery. Bow ult would be my next choice if you don't want to put the werewolf ult there. Bow ult is insane. Drop that when you have your mercy proc, just ambush in, hit him with a fucking mass hysteria, and just hit that mercy. You should drop pretty much any target at that point, especially if you're fully buffed up. This is my crafter, so I really don't have any other skills. That is literally how I run it. I don't change anything up. You guys see, crafter. So, champion points. 40 into Warlord, we're constantly rolling, because of truth, dodging attacks, shit like that. 19 in a Sprinter, we're always sprinting, trying to get away. If we can't get the cloak, that's how we move, shuffle, and just run away like a bitch. Bash, just because we got so much CP, we want to spread them out. 56 in the stam recovery. Which I do not know why that is like that. I would actually switch that to 75. I would take some out of Be Foul because our burst is so big anyways that we shouldn't need it. Do I have gold on this cocksucker? No. Either way, I'll deal with it later on in life. I'll deal with it later. Either way, 75 in a moon calf is what I'd want. Take that shit out of the Be Foul. Burst is huge. 19 in the Arcanist, 7 in a Tenacity, just because every once in a while you do run out of stam and you are going to throw a heavy attack. However, you have much left in the Be Foul after you take out the 19. So that's what you're short, which should be 20. That's what you put in. Obviously, round up. So if you got a few more, throw it in the fucking... I guess this would be your best multiplier or whatever. Either way. 56 in the roll dodge, which should be tumbling. We're always roll. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's break free. I apologize, guys. I got my CP mixed up. Yeah. You want 20% mitigation of rolling stacks well with your well fitted. Like I said, that's the only way you're ever going to run out of stam is dodging attacks. You're under pressure and 5 or 6 people pounding on you. Get to a rock, roll dodge, try to get your cloak. Not even just that. It's for all you people that said cloak is broken, it doesn't work. It's horseshit. Pretend that it's broken, it's gonna break every time you roll in the cloak. Watch my gameplay. That is how I get my cloak off 9 out of 10 times. That is how I'm so mobile. Is you roll in the cloak. That is my advice to you, and you'll be able to get cloaked 9 out of 10 times. 11 in the blessed, just because we are Nightblade, healing is shit. So you need some of that healing back. We are not an Argonian. This is what procs our truth. Right here, tactician, when you use a roll dodge to dodge an attack, you send an enemy off balance. Now, that's glitched. It says roll dodge, it's whenever you dodge an attack, so you could be sitting there attacking somebody. If your shuffle's up and it dodges a fucking crystal frag or something, it's gonna reproc your truth. So Truth will literally stay up. You'll have no times proccing it. 33 in the physical weapon expert. Increases light and heavy attacks. We're always doing that. Fortunately, we don't want to stack shattering blows because not everybody's got a shield, so you should be leaving heavy attacks. Split these up, and then 56 in the Master at Arms. We don't really have dot damage except if you use the bow ult, then you poison inject. Which inject is already getting a giant ass fucking multiplier from being an execute dot anyway, so you don't really have to worry about dot damage too much. 52 into precise strikes. We're always cloaking out of stealth. That's another thing, is when you surprise attack out of cloak, then it's going to set your target off balance. Also proc your truth, so we got great crit multipliers. Our crit was at like 40%. We are in medium armor and shit like that, so it's very good. Penetration, as you see, Nirnhone Sword. This is really the only penetration other than the surprise attack buff we are getting. So a little bit of points in there is helpful. 49 in the Mighty, just because we can. Ironclad, 61. Direct damage is going to be the worst nightmare in PvP. This Crystal Frag, Stars, fucking Dawnbreaker, Scorious, all that shit. Crit resistance, 46, just because we are so low. Having so much well fitted on right now. Like I said, I have more than I'd like on, so my crit resistance is a little bit higher than it should be. To be honest, you don't really have to stress that too much. I was wearing 4 and 3 last update. I think I might have even changed. I don't remember changing. I smoke a lot of fucking weed, man. I don't remember changing it, but I might have changed it after the blood spawn change, because I got an extra fucking bit of recovery. I don't remember why I changed it. Either way. 4 and 3, 5 and 2. Stam is fine. Tankiness is fine. If you want to be a real douche, you can go Pirate Skeleton. It's good, but I don't like the debuff on the heals being a Nightblade. That's my biggest thing. We lack such heals. Is when that thing is up and you are in execute range, that is a real shit show. Even when I know I'm supposed to get a pretty much full rally tick, I'm not healing up to full. At that point, it's really almost good for just getting the cloak. If you're taking a lot of damage from a lot of people, like to get away. But I don't have problems with mobility and shit like that anyway, so we make do. 19 in the quick recovery. Give us that extra 5% on the healing received. And I think that is it for CP. Like I said, stam recovery. Did I show you guys stat sheet? Let's show stat sheet. Remember guys, this is unbuffed, no nothing. So I've already got on front bar 2,500 stam recovery, almost, well, just over 3,200 spell damage. Like I said, almost that 40% crit, 2,500% crit resistance. Physical is low, but remember, you're going to be cloaking and shit in combat, so that's what your resistances would look like anyways. Back bar is not as impressive, it's got truth. Showed anyways, still got the 40k. Pretty much we get like 3k on that fucking bar for spell or weapon damage. Almost 40% crit. But this is where it gets beefy. Let's look at that stam pool. Look at that stam recovery. Once it's buffed up, and then that weapon damage, you're gonna get 440, which is gonna go up 20% from your rally. Then passives is gonna give it another 12%, so you actually get an extra 32%. Trying to find it, sorry. So you actually get an extra 32% off that truth right there, so you can do the math. 32 times 4 would be 64, be 128 without even touching the 40. There you go. It's like an extra fucking 600 weapon damage right there. The bow is gonna give us that 301 on single targets, which should bring us already over 4,000, and then when you get the weapon enchant, you're already at like 4,500 weapon damage. I'm telling you, like, when everything is buffed out, you're gonna peg a motherfucker for like 15k in cap sometimes. If you watch the footage, man, It's insane. Like I said, that's all maintaining that recovery. Like I said, the extra well-fitted isn't that crucial. Look how much we're rolling. Then you're still gonna have your fucking rallies, or not your rallies, your leeching strikes give you stam back and shit. But realistically, you're not gonna be stam rolling this many times in a row. It's very rare. There is gonna be times that it happens though. And that's the thing, is sweet thing about having that big of a stam pool and that good roll mitigation, you play off your resources. Now I could go in the cloak a few times, let my stam come back, make it behind my tree, start running like a bitch. Go into the cloak again. Yeah, you really just gotta play off whatever pool. The stam recovery, or magic recovery, looks low right now, but you gotta remember it's gonna go up slightly once you're in combat too. So, yeah, I can play with it, it's good. Now this is stam blade builds. Let us get into the Warden. The Warden. This one's gonna take me a minute. My warren's kind of deconstructed right now. First thing I'm going to show you guys is to be honest, we actually might have a little bit of an issue now that I think of this. Nope. I'm not so slow. I did put the light power skeleton in the bank. Woo! Sorry guys, I have brain farts all the time, and half the time I forget my own jewelry, so yeah. Put over a whole set, forget like 2-3 pieces. Didn't want to do that to you guys today on the stream. We already pulled out the helmets. I need shackle breaker guards. What do I need? Power skeleton, light shoulders. Fuck. See, this is what I'm talking about, boys. I'm not too smart. We'll figure it out in a minute. Because that's in a second anyways. What else do I need? Sash is what I need. I'm sorry guys, this is what I'm talking about. I'm not so smart. I had everything set up yesterday. And I ripped apart the Warden last night.
Let's move then.
So I could test something today before I did the stream, and my apologies. Either way, I'm going to show you guys two specs with the Warden. I'll talk about the old spec, Wizard's Riposte and Necropotence and Pirate Skeleton while we're loading. It is still doable, this update, but I recommend it more for group play. The damage obviously isn't there with the loss of the stun, so we do not run it as much. If you're running in a group, it is still an OP setup. You do have a shit ton of damage still. It's really more finishing off your targets. You don't have an execute, or you can get by killing scrubs and shit like that, and that's fine, but it's when you come up against a good player, you're just not going to have the damage to down anybody. With no execute, no nothing like that, and you're forced to run mist because you don't have that stam pool or the stam sustain to play it properly. So that's kind of like a double fucking whammy right there. You can't run inner light. But yeah, it's still doable. I've had people ask me that question. Can I still run it? No. It's still very doable. What did we say? We said the shoulders and the sash. The sash, that is not in my inventory either. That's why it's still on my body. Log out. That should be everything. Alright, boys. First thing I'm going to show you guys yeah, I got some twiddle thumbs. I got quick maths though, quick maths. 1 + 1 is 2. 2 + 4 is 6. What's the Big Shaq song? I don't remember, it's been too long. Quick maths. The first thing I'm going to show you guys, I'm actually really excited about. Gets me all giddy inside. What's going on, basics? I fucking was putting shit in the bank, and I forgot 2 or 3 pieces because I got the mentality of a walnut. My mom dropped me on my head as a child, and yeah, so I had to go back and do it a second time. But we're getting into the Warden now. And like I said, the first thing I'm excited to show you guys, because the burst and no CP is insane, boys. Insane. I don't even know if I want to let the cat out of the bag with this one. To be honest, we will go do a VG, because yes, I am fully set up. Either way, this is the no CP sec. Got Calorian's Legacy Lightning Staff. Calorian's Legacy and no CP is so strong it's not even funny. Stupid strong. So you see 17k tooltip every 10 seconds. Procs off a single target crit. So birds clench, which we're forced to run this update. It's really all we got. That's all we spam for attacks anyways. This is kind of like our extra attack essentially, you know. Part of the combo. It just, the burst is insane, I'm telling you. It procs so often. I almost feel that the enchant off of the weapon procs it, to be honest, because every time I throw a clench, it pretty much procs it. And that is the reason why the burst and no CP is as stupid as it is. 1 second. Because I'm gonna forget, guys. We need the light shoulders and the belt. Quick maths. Alright. Chlorine's Legacy Infused. Infused is stupid strong if you're using clench or anything like that. I've been testing it as of lately, dropping the Nirnhoned, and I'm liking Infused a lot better. The extra spell damage is kind of meh. It's nice and all, but you want to be proccing that enchant as often as possible, and you want that enchant to hurt. Defending, because we are using poison on back bar. For this, it is no CP, so I've split up the resources. Trains magic and stamina. Pirate skeletons are still our go-to with heavy on, or with the light in 5. Like, wow. 4 times the charm with a medium and a heavy piece on it. So 5-1-1. Everything is in pen because we want to be tanky as shit. That is what Warden thrives on. That is what the Warden has. If you are building your Warden, you got to play every class's strengths and weaknesses. The Warden is a buff class. Doesn't really have damage. Like you see the delay on the birds, the fissure. The alts have pretty much no damage. If you say Storm hits hard, you're retarded, because go look at a Destro ult. It does 33% more damage. Yeah, it costs more and everything, but we're looking at it from a damage point of view. It just, per second, it's not lining up. They're a buff class, so you really got to take advantage of everything you can and learn the strengths and weaknesses. You want to be tanky. You want to be able to sit there and spam 2 or 3 birds because you don't have a combo like the Sorc does, where he's going to throw a Mage's Wrath, his Curse, proc his frag, and hit you with 3 attacks all at the same time. So you got to be tanky enough. Same thing with Templar, you know, you got to be tanky enough to throw a sweep or 2 in there. Same thing with the Warden, you got to be tanky enough. So I go Fire Skeleton, favorite monster set. You can use loads and all that shit, but with a 10% chance to proc it, we don't really have dots this update. Fletcher was hitting, ticking more than Clench does. It will proc slows, it will proc Scoria, yeah, but you're not getting the consistent procs you'd like. And that's, I'd rather the tankiness. Chlorine's Legacy, giving us that crit, that spell damage. Necrobones. Necrobones never comes up to my word. 2 reasons. Shit ton of damage, all that extra max magic, plus Wardens have stupid strong multipliers. That's like having 650 fucking spell damage right there before you've even talked about a multiplier. And it's sustain. And it's tankiness. Shields don't run off of spell damage, they only run off of max magic. Shields can't be debuffed or critted. That is where the Warden gets his tankiness, is having such a big match pool. And shit like that. It's gonna be your damage. Not even just that, we get major protection. You're gonna get some big ass shields. You guys have seen the footage, you guys watch when people are pounding on top of me to scratch. So Chlorine's Legacy, Necrobones, everything in pen. My jewelry, 1 spell damage, 2 recovery, clockwork food. Even if we are a vampire, it's like having an extra 100 magic recovery, man. I'm telling you, you feel it. So, ever since then, I food adds tankiness. Inventory. Mage Mundus Stone. We'll go into the stats. I don't even run Mist in no CP anyways, because a lot of people don't stun you every 5 seconds. You got So much recovery coming back from your vines passive. It's like having an extra 500 stam recovery right there. It's a free fucking amber plasm. Just keep it up. There's something I was gonna show. Stat sheet, that's what I was gonna show. We got almost 50% crit, 47.5 almost max magic. Spell damage is very low, but we get 6% extra damage from the Warden passives anyways. So spell damage isn't as crucial with that big ass magic pool. And everything that we're doing is magic damage anyways except clench. So yeah, you might have that lower spell damage, but you got that higher outright mitigation of 6% extra damage on your attacks anyways. People ask me how I sustain so well. My normal setup has more recovery. I usually play with about 2k, but it all comes down to the harness magic. But those are the stats. When the wings kicked in, I had almost 800 stam recovery. We have almost 1850 magic recovery. The crit resistance is still very high. Over 2200, even on a shield build, adds to the tankiness. That's stat sheet for the no CP build. I won't get into champion points for it because you guys are going to see champion points with the next spec anyways. Both specs would technically run the same skills. You have to run this. It's our stun now. You can go dual wield and use invigorating drain. It's good when you can cancel it. Unfortunately, it's when you're lagging and you get stuck in that fucking channel. It sucks ass. I use lightning staff over inferno because the fire clench will knock them out. There's just really no point in running it. I don't like it. Yeah, that's just my preference, so I don't use fire staff. Yeah, you can use natural weapons if you'd like to. I'll show you the no CP spec in CP, obviously. With the proc. There. So your goal is to kind of hit it as soon as the Chlorian's procs. And it's going to add to your burst quite a bit. And then no CP, that shit just hits harder. Either way, what I want to show you is our deep fissure is hitting for 15. Sumo Sorcerer obviously doesn't get the 8% buff, but it's almost 11k. Soul Assault doesn't get the 11% buff. With the Nirnhorn, it goes up to 74. We still have over 70k on our tooltip for the Soul Assault. We get all that extra penetration. 1 second, I'm gonna let them know I'm streaming. That's front bar. Also, this is an AoE attack. When you throw it at a group of people, it's going to hit everybody running into the room, so that's another pose, or plus opposed to the fire clench. And then, like I said, the fire clench is going to knock them out of your fissure, which is half your damage. It just knocks them down. That's that. Back bar. Actually, this is what I want to talk to you about. You can use... I use Inner Light. For open world, you can run elemental weapon because people are going to be chasing you more, obviously, so you can run behind a tree, hit that. So you go fissure, elemental weapon, light attack, clench, and you're going to drop some crazy burst with that fucking setup right there. In duels, when you're going up against higher damage targets, you got to think that you drop your fissure, your feet are already lighting up blue, they see that. And then you go into your thingy, so... And it comes into that whole, you're taking time to get an impact. Like, look how long it takes to... I gotta go fissure, I gotta go elemental. Let's see how quick I can do it. And then I do the clench. So it's still taking me 3 or 4 seconds. So for that 3 or 4 seconds, I gotta set up my burst. That's not like a sweep where it's only 1 second. Like vulnerable for that amount of time. So in a duel, when you're going up against higher damage targets, there's no sense even having the elemental weapon up. Inner light is going to be your best bet. It takes too much time to get your combo off against a good player. It's more for scrubs. You run behind a tree, get set up around, and boom boom. You guys have seen me do it in videos, and the combo's nice. Back bar, because we have the willpower staff, we got over 50k max magic. So our leeching vines is fucking healing us for a lot. Our healing ward is huge. Our resistances are very high on this bar because we're running a defending weapon. So with all that tankiness and everything, still got 28k spell resistance, almost 22 physical, and then like I said, the 2200 even on a shield build. That's a no CP setup. Burst is insane. CP is not the best to show it off because chlorine's is just so much better in no CP. It's actually cheap. But let's get into this. For this setup, this update, I have not been using the Wizard Repose setup. And I haven't been using the Wizard's Repose setup because, like I said, as a solo player, you're not getting the damage you want from it. So, I haven't been running it. 1 second, let me put this shit on for you. We've been running Shacklebreaker. Now, Shacklebreaker is huge because it gives us such a big match pool. Still the same, everything's jewelry, it's the same. Alright, let's get into this. Same understone, you want big max magic pool as possible. Hey, what's up, Dan Ben? I'm just in a stream right now. You don't have to leave or nothing, but if you're wondering why I'm talking to myself, that's why. Oh, that's fine. So, alright, sounds good. Alright. All good. Yeah, no problem. I can help you out with it after. I just gotta finish. I'm doing a build stream, that's why. So, all good. I hear you, man. I hear you. All good. Well, that's all good. I don't mean to cut you off or nothing, but I gotta handle this real quick. I'm almost done. I'm on the Warden now, and then I'll be turning it off, so... Probably. Just about 5 minutes. What, babe?
Who are you talking to?
Someone else is hopping in the party. You're good, but I'll be done in like 5 minutes anyway, babe, so you'll be able to fucking make noise again. Either way, so this update we were running Shacklebreaker because, like I said, the Wizard's Repose isn't getting the damage we want for a solo play. You're gonna run into your good players, tanky players. You're not gonna be able to burst them down quickly and effectively. The trick to 1vxing players is to be able to burst down as many as you can, pretty much as quick as possible. If you're sitting there and you got a healer on a group of people, then burst is crucial. And you're seeing a lot more in that in this cheesy ass update, obviously. So I have dropped the wizard spec, gone with Shacklebreaker, obviously with no mist now because we're using inner light. You can get away with running the mist, however you've got such a big stam pool. You've already got the extra 500 stam recovery coming from passives. You already get a little bit more from wearing Shacklebreaker. That I don't need mist, and the damage is insane. So like I said, open world, it's really up to you. Inner light or Subdue weapon. You're still gonna run into good players in open world. Subdue weapon, you're still not gonna be able to get some combos off on good players. It's really preference up to that point. This spec is touching over 50k max magic on both bars with the Pyre Skeleton still. So your shields are going to be massive. You're going to have the wiggle room to pretty much play how you want. This is with Nirnhound. We're touching that 2200 spell damage. I haven't infused this weapon out yet. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I go both ways. I really like both. Is there anything I'm missing, guys? If I'm missing anything on the Warden, please feel free to ask. Clockwork food, Mage Mundus Stone, I showed stat sheet. CP, you guys want CP, don't you? Everybody wants the CP. And what's up, Daycar? How are you doing on this fine weekend? Let's get into champion points. Do you have any questions, King? What were you excited most about? Did I miss anything? Did I answer your questions? So our stam recovery on stat sheet obviously isn't that high. It's mediocre after our wings and everything. So we still kind of apply the same stam mitigation as we would on the Templar. So we got 56 into Warlord, 23 in the Sprinter. That is another thing about not needing mist, is you can constantly cleanse your dots and all that shit just by spamming your free fucking Necro proc, which I didn't mention when I was talking about sets. Right here. Tis free. It's free as the air we breathe, and it cleanses one negative effect. Now I'm not saying, you know, you got fucking 5 people on you, first time you're gonna affect the snare. But you know, if you're running away, shield spamming, got your wings. Look how quick we move with wings. That's 10 times better than mist anyway, so you're gonna see. You'll get away from people, you'll have the mobility and CP, or no CP especially, and it's really, really nice. What's up, Arrow? Just finishing up this build stream. Then I'll probably do one BG with it, because I'm sure you guys want to see the new no CP spec or whatever. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out where I was in CP. So 23 in a Sprinter for sprinting, like I said, especially with no miss. You're going to be sprinting a lot. Bashing focus. Put a little bit in the stam recovery because we do have Shackle on. We are a vampire, which stacks into the mitigation a little bit more. Between your Frost Cloak, your Vampire, and your Pyre Skeleton, you're literally going to have like 68% fucking damage mitigation after the 50% PvP mitigation when you're in execute stage. So even without resist or post, you're going to be tanky as shit. 64 in the Arcanist. To be honest, I'm really off today when it comes to CP, because that should be 75 and this should only be 32, or not 32 in its tenacity. You don't want to be heavy attacking unless necessary, so switch that around. 21 in its tenacity, 75 in the Arcanist. And then 40 in the Tumbling. Obviously a lot of roll dodging, DKs and shit like that. We don't have mist right now, so talons and stuff like that, you gotta be able to roll dodge off. And that's another reason why Shackle Breaker is important, because we need that stam pool. We're not ever using Tri-Staff food. I explained the importance of the clockwork. Elfborn 52, 37 into Elemental Expert, 39 in Spell Erosion. We don't really have that many dots, so we get a very high penetration being a Warden. 61 into Master at Arms, and 61 into Thaumaturge. I don't know. I guess Soul Assault's my dot and my clench. Maybe I just had the CP. I don't need anything in the Bless technically, because the only heal we're getting back, which is already a pretty decent heal as is our Vines, which I will get into after. Ironclads 56, 13 in Resistant, just a little bit of mitigation when our shields are down. Even though we have a cleanse, we still need 40 in the Thick Skin because it only removes one negative effect, and when 4 or 5 people are pounding on you, you're still going to need that mitigation. That Soul Assault and dot damage on Dawnbreaker, which is actually still going to hit pretty hard at full health if you got nothing up. For mitigation, you don't have your Frost Cloak or your Pyre Skeleton, you're just as squishy as a Sorcerer. So 37 in the Hardy, 37 in Elemental Defender. Those are low because we got 56 in the Bastion, which is our shields. That's where our main heal comes from anyways. Like I said, they can't be debuffed, can't be critted, and that's just how we're tanky. Got a little bit in the healing recovery just because we have so much fucking CP. I wouldn't take anything out of the bleach tree and put it in. Warden is so hard for damage this update. You really want to maximize damage wherever you can. To be honest, that's the reason why I got such a high dot damage, is because I hate putting anything in the pen as is. So yeah, maybe I'll take out some of that dot, go with elemental. I guess what's the multiplier for that? I guess it'd be 47. Yeah, take out some of that dot damage and put the extra 10 points in there. You don't need that much dot damage. Like I said, it's only soul assault. I don't even think fissure is considered dot damage anymore. I don't know if it is. Last update, it was not. It's considered direct. Yes, that is a CP tree. Am I missing anything, guys? That would be all. If you guys have any questions or anything, let me know. We are going to do one battleground real quick. Just because I need to do my daily on my fucking Warden. Yes, the Templar was shown, I think it was second. It goes after the Sorcerer. So if you want to backtrack a little bit. We're just going to do a BG. Wait for any questions to come in. Even if you got anything basic, I know you missed the Mage Player segment, but if there's anything you wanted to ask, feel free to get it out there. Just in case I didn't cover it, but I'm pretty sure I did, because a lot of people are excited for the Mage Player. And I don't think they'd let me live down missing CP or anything like that, so. Now I'm only gonna wait a few minutes for this. I'm not gonna lie. Majdan's Warden, or the Majdan's Warden, holy fuck. Majdan's rating is so high that it usually takes me a very long time to get into a battleground, so I'll wait a couple minutes. If we don't get into one, then that's gonna be that. As you guys see, the Sorcerer gets in there like that. Fucking, I could have brought my Nightblade in there like that, but the Warden's rating is just fucking stupid high. Then when I do find a group, or find a game, it's gonna put me in a grouped fucking game. And I'll get the guys who don't have a 4-man team. So you guys are gonna watch me get my booty pounded and come up with a fucking great ass score, but that's Majdan life in BG for curves. They do hate me out. It's all from that CPBG update, man. Like I said, I own that shit. I'm so excited to show this off. So excited. I'm not gonna get a battleground. Maybe we'll go do one duel. Let's see what comes up. If not, then I can't show you the new no CP spec, guys. I really don't want to sit here for an hour and waste your time trying to get a battleground. But I'm telling you, this is the bee's knees. Come on, buddy. Well, everybody's Nightblade. Oh, ain't this some pussy shit. Sorry, boys. And that is the burst, boys. Except it's 10 times bigger and no CP. We'll try this DK after, show you what a DK fight this update looks like. Because I am not getting a battleground full of shit. Well, as you guys see, it's just a perma block build. When you fight these kind of DKs, you really see what the problem with the Warden is. With all delayed attacks and shit like that. There's not much you can do. Well, as you guys see, if I can just get the burst off, just the Calorians alone took like fucking half his health. Woo! He's running out of resources. I think he's giving up. As you guys see though, the burst is there, he's just blocking it all. I can't keep pressure on. Well, as you guys see, some battles aren't meant to end. I'm ending that shit. Perma blocking and just doing nothing. We almost got him. What's up, Junior Billy? We're actually just finishing up the stream here. I showed off all the classes. Seems like nobody's got any questions or anything, so I think that's gonna be it. Oh, just keeping wings up. And Fissure doesn't stun anymore, so if you're keeping wings up, I can't stun you. I tried. I pounded. And I just couldn't kill him.
Fucking eat my shit, man.
Well, guys, have yourselves a good one. If anybody doesn't have any more questions, I think I'm gonna get rolling. I just wanted to make sure I got to that. I showed them all, man. I showed Sorcerer, Magic Templar, Nightblade, and then the Magic Warden. Everything I've played this update. So you can go back, peek. I'm pretty sure it went Magic Sorcerer, Magic Templar, Nightblade, and Magic, and was the order it went in. So the smoke at my feet, that's Mage's Guild Quest glitch. If you type in on ESO Blue Mist glitch, it will tell you. And my phone just died. Either way, guys, have yourselves a good one. And I am off now. Any questions or concerns, Billy, just leave them in the comments or whatever, and I'll try to answer them best that I can. Have yourselves a good one.